When talking about famous and dangerous hikes in the United States National Park System, the Precipice Trail is always on the list. This trail is short at only 2 miles round trip and less than 3/4 of a mile to get to the summit. In that first 3/4 of a mile though, you'll gain over 1,000 feet in elevation. Most of that elevation comes from climbing steel rung ladders which are fastened to the side of the rock. As you climb the ladders, you'll go across narrow rock ledges that take you to the next area where you have to go up. This is a pretty crazy hike and not for those who are afraid of heights, and I'll have a full video on Acadia National Park next week, but I wanted to share a video just on this hike. Also note that the trail is often closed in the summer for falcon nesting and that you should never attempt this trail after it's rained as it will be really slippery. So if you're interested in what it's like to hike the Precipice Trail, here's that full adventure. Let me know what you think in the comments. Before even starting the trail, there are lots of warnings about how it's one of the steepest and most challenging trails in Acadia. Also, I talked to a few people on the way down who compared it to Angel's Landing, and I have to say Angel's Landing is a lot more scary to me, but this is still a pretty crazy trail. The trail starts by following these blue strips of paint as you go up rocks. From the moment you step onto this trail, you'll realize it's not much of a trail and you're going to be heading up the entire way. This is the second warning. Falls have resulted in serious injury or death, and it's a near vertical hike all the way up. Look at all the amazing fall colors right now. It's gonna be a beautiful time in Acadia, I think. So this is the trail, just climbing rocks. Just past the first step of ladder. There's only 2 ladders, but it was very far apart. So if you're shorter, it might be a little bit challenging to get up that part. I think they probably made that first one far apart like that just to stop people from going all the way up who can't do that first one, as it's a long way to go from here. Look at those views already, fall and the water. I didn't take any video at the first step up as there was a lot of people waiting in line who were terrified of doing it, and they let me pass so I was able to keep going. I'm not exactly sure what the point of this one is. You can kind of just walk on it, but it's there. The beginning of this trail is basically scrambling across a large boulder field as you make your way up. Definitely keep watching for the blue marks as it helps you to navigate the rocks the best way possible. When I went, there was a lot of people on the early part of the trail, so you'll be following people basically the entire way. The next section of the trail actually has you go under a few of the big rocks. Could get a little small for this section. Technically, you could also scramble around, but I found it easier just to go under. That's some climbing. When in doubt, just follow the blue. We're not even to the crazy part yet. This has already been pretty crazy with lots of rock climbing, so no that going in. After leaving this section, you'll be greeted with your first small rock scramble and then rock ledge. Note that this video is probably never going to make any of this look as scary as it is in real life. So we made it to another fun section. There's a little bridge right here, and then you can see that all along this side of the rock, there's some rebar. Stops you from falling. Plus you get amazing views the entire time. Wow, look at that fall. It's incredible. This section is a good introduction to what you're going to be doing later on in the trail at a much higher elevation. The drop here is only 10 to 12 feet. There's not even anything blocking you right here. This trail is over 1,000 feet of elevation. It's basically because it keeps going up and down. Now we gotta go all the way back down again. Still climbing over boulders with fall colors. We're going up and down. Eventually the downhill stops and you're basically just going to be going uphill the rest of the trail. Look at these stairs. These things are massive. When you reach the top of these stairs, you'll see the split with the orange and black trail. To complete the loop, you can either take the trail down to the road and walk the road back to the parking area, or you can take the path back to the split and you can go down this section that you came up. I mean, it's really nice. They have these type of handles and everything anytime you need them. The one thing I will say about this trail is that as steep as it is, they did have the iron rebar basically wherever I was hoping it would be. You guys, I'm not gonna lie. This is one of the toughest hikes I've done in a while. It is straight up. And look,
Once you get right there, there's even a ladder. Don't worry, just climb right up this part, then use a ladder to climb up that part.
After you pass the split and go up another 5 to 6 minutes, this is where the trail really starts to become tough. From here on out, you'll see many of the ladders and cliff walks that you've heard about on this trail.
It's just relentless uphill. One steep section, a little flat for a few seconds, and another one.
I was more tired than normal as there was a decent amount of people that were just stopped at some of the scarier sections, and so I was passing a lot of them and trying to maintain a pace that allowed me to keep in front. If you do this on a busy weekend, note that you may be waiting for a ladder section for a while.
Check it out, there's a 10-foot ladder, and then there's 2 more ladders above it. I think I'm gonna have to put my camera away for this one. Here's where it's starting to get a little crazy. Come up on here. We're on this narrow ledge, going across to another set of stairs.
From here, the trail really starts to go up and you have about 40 feet of ladders you have to climb.
All right, so we came around this bend and now we have to go all the way up that ladder with this drop in view out there. It's a little crazy.
I feel like this section is the first time that you really get a feel of what this trail is going to be like the rest of the way.
So that's where we started right there. We came up a ladder right here, went across, came up a bunch of ladders, and then went across that section.
As you continue on, it's more of the same small ladders and cliff walks. The cliff walks just continue to have a little bit more of a drop as you make your way up.
Look at this ladder. There's Pops down there at the car, and we are all the way up here.
Even with the trail being treacherous, the views are stunning. There's basically no trees blocking you on the way up, so you can get some amazing views of Mount Desert Island.
Just continuing to go up ladders. I mean, I don't think I gotta tell you guys this, but this trail is legit crazy. It is so epic though. Look at that ladder right there with this view. After coming up this ladder, you just go right along the side of this, all holding on. It's a good drop. I think we got only a couple more ladders before we get to the summit up there.
This last section of the trail is easily the worst part. Here you're the most exposed and you have a few tall ladders you need to climb and then a long narrow catwalk section. While I really loved this trail, it did get my blood pumping a little bit here.
All right, I think this is the craziest part. We're gonna come right along this ledge.
As you can no doubt tell, it's a little bit narrow and it has probably a 40 to 50 foot drop on the right side.
We made it. There's the cliff edge from above that we just came up. Pretty good drop, and it's got some epic views.
Once you finally make it to the top of this section, you can breathe a little easy again and you can just soak in the amazing views. This isn't the ultimate summit though, you have to continue climbing in order to reach the summit, but this is the best spot for views, so take your pictures here before continuing on.
We left the cliff's edge behind and we're just walking through the trees up to the summit.
There's one more ladder you have to climb to get to the summit, but after what you've already done, it'll feel like a cakewalk. Plus, all of the beautiful fall trees up here were a nice welcome after the crazy climb.
We made it to the summit.
When you reach the summit, you'll be sitting at 1,058 feet of elevation. This is easily the most difficult hike I've ever done to reach that elevation. If you're up here on a clear day, the views are awe-inspiring. You can see across the water to the other parts of Acadia National Park and even a few lighthouses. Something I didn't know before I visited was how many islands were all around the park. After taking your time at the summit, you'll want to start the loop back down. The park recommends that you don't try to go down the crazy section that you came up and that you just go down the other way. I recommend this too, and you'll get some awesome views on the way back down.
If you go down this way, you just have to follow these blue marks.
If you want to reach the summit without doing the ladder section, you can actually hike up this way as well, but note that it's also really steep.
Almost back down, but look at the view on this section of the trail with the water and the fall, the islands. I'm taking the orange and black path to the cutoff with the road.
If you're looking for the blue marks, it's not too hard to follow, but I definitely recommend having an all trails map.
So I'm a little desensitized to fall colors because we've done a lot over the last 3 days, but I mean, how can this ever not be impressive?
The park is much busier in the fall, but it's definitely worth visiting if you get the chance.
Even this path is very steep, so don't underestimate it.
Eventually you'll make it to another split which will point you to the road if you want to go that direction.
Alright, I made it back to the main road. From here, it's a half-mile walk back to the parking area, or Pops is just waiting for you, right there.
There is a pull-off here and someone can pick you up if they didn't want to do the Precipice Trail. Thanks again for going on this hike with me, and be sure to look out for my full video on Acadia National Park. We'll see you on the next one.